why you should meditate. In the last video, I covered why you should meditate, why it's a good idea, the benefits you can have in terms of being able to deal with life more effectively, to be less stressed, to be more focused, to be more unified within yourself, to have more fulfillment, more joy, to be more functional in your relationships. All of that. Sounds lovely and amazing, right? Well, there are also reasons why you don't want to meditate. And the reasons are that when you meditate and you really do go deeper within yourself, you will encounter things that are not processed. And that can be scary. So if you like to keep your psyche as the status quo as much as that's even possible, I wouldn't recommend going for meditation. If you'd like to keep your life in the status quo as it is right now with the friendships that you have, I wouldn't recommend to meditate, because it can shake things up, right? Now there is a graduation, a graduation. I don't know the right word for it. Anyways, I hope you get what I want to say. There's a spectrum. You can meditate a little bit, let's say 10 minutes every day or 15 minutes every day. It is not going to have this kind of huge impact on your life. You're probably going to have the benefits of meditation to some degree, probably not more of the deeper transformations that you can experience with meditations, but you're not going to go into, lands that are maybe more dangerous. Now, if you're going to start meditating for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, or whatever every day, then you are entering into territory that can be a bit more challenging to navigate, because you are really slowing down your mental processes. Things are going to surface, and sometimes you don't feel ready to look at some of these things, and you might want to go get professional help, as I've mentioned before, because what is going on is just simply too overwhelming. So that would be another reason why you wouldn't want to meditate, but that's more on the end of it, really taking it more seriously, not just doing your 10-15 minutes of meditation. That tends to be fairly harmless in my experience. And even when you go for 2 hours, it's not that it's harmful. However, just be prepared that there might be things that can come up and that can challenge you. And so if you're in a place in your life where you aren't able to handle this extra stuff, I wouldn't recommend to meditate in this fashion for a prolonged manner. Now, we do have to look at also what kind of meditation you're doing. The previous video is based on concentration meditation, and this video as well is largely based on concentration meditation. However, if you're going into a strain of meditation called insight meditation or vipassana, that can have a profound effect on how you're perceiving yourself, how you're perceiving the world. It's challenging some of the deep assumptions that are actually creating your perception. And so once you start changing these things, that can really mess things up for a little bit, okay? And so you want to be prepared for that. Again, if you are in a very busy time of your life with lots of responsibilities, that might not be the right time to go into this direction. At the same time, if you feel the pull, you got to do what you got to do. I don't believe there's a perfect time for these things anyways, but it is good to have a warning around that you do know that meditation is not just harmless. It can have profound effects, and sometimes that can be disorienting. It can be difficult. You can get depressed. You can have all kinds of negative thoughts that start to surface. All of this kind of stuff. This can happen, and so that's why I wanted to make this video, right? Because taking meditation lightly, especially when you're going more serious with it and thinking it's not going to have too much of an impact, I think that is naive. At the same time, it does depend on your makeup as well. So that brings me to the next reason. If you are in a place where you're not stable, where you have all kinds of issues, I would actually recommend talking to someone who is grounded in meditation and maybe psychotherapy, so that they can assess whether it makes sense to do the meditation you're looking to do. Concentration meditation tends to be more settling, but if you're going for a longer period of time, again, things can surface, so that can be unsettling. Insight meditation is a way of deconstructing reality, deconstructing yourself. That is for sure unsettling and not something that is grounding. And so if you're already in an unsettled space, I can't recommend that you do meditation for too long. Maybe the 10-15 minutes are good, or a half hour, but don't go balls to the walls with it. And if you do, be mindful about what happens and check in with yourself and make sure that you are going, in a pace that is right for you and not just driven by an idea that you have to meditate, instead of feeling what's going on for you and whether this is actually nourishing and beneficial for you. Which brings me to the very last reason why not to meditate, and that is if you're living a life that is not really aligned to yourself and you wish to continue down that road because you like the money or whatever it is and you don't want to change things, meditation is maybe not the best bet, because you will uncover things where you're like, you know what, that doesn't feel right for me. I don't want to do this job anymore. I don't want to be with my partner anymore, or whatever it is. And sometimes these changes are good to make, and sometimes they are actually not good to make. And so you need to have the perspective. You need to have the perspective to see what is actually right for you, okay? Because to change your life just based on some sense of, it's not right, may not be the right thing, or it may be exactly the right thing, you see. And so that's why I'm saying, with meditation, your mind calms down, you have time to assess things. That's great and fantastic. But if you're just wanting to go keep yourself busy in whatever way you're busy at the moment, then don't meditate. Don't meditate. You might not like what you see. However, for me personally, and probably for most people who are watching this video and who are subscribed to this channel, you actually do want to live a life that's true to you, that feels good, that brings you alive, that makes you happy. And for you, I would go and I would do the meditation. It's a good idea. It's a good idea to meditate for a lot of people. But if you are unstable, do seek some professional input on it as well, just to make sure that your journey is not going to be too rough. Because especially if you're going for the waking up kind of goal, it can get rough, and that's okay. So anyways, that's it. I see you on the next video. Take care and have a wonderful day.